My earliest memories of Berkeley and being in this area, on my 6th birthday in 1943, we moved to Princeton in one of those small bungalows. I grew up in that home. We stayed there till I was 18. But the things I remember about living on Princeton, we had unpaved roads. They were dirt roads. When it would rain in Berkeley every spring, we would row boats down the street because we've always had a water problem. And then years later, they put in the 12-town drain, and that improved a lot of that. But Berkeley was a wonderful place to grow up.
I grew up in Berkeley. When my parents brought me home, they brought me home to 4219 Buckingham. I lived there from 1951 till I went to be a flight attendant for 40 years. To 1972. We were a few houses away from Webster, and that's before there was a Beaumont parking lot. It was just woods, and all the men and women, the moms and dads, would go down and play horseshoes. Some of the businesses that I remember growing up in Berkeley was when we would leave La Salette, we would have a little bit of money, we'd stop at the Tasty Freeze. After the football games, we would go to Domenico's for pizza. I worked at Brown's Creamery for a while, and then Tip Top from 16 till I was 21. I remember also going to see movies like Sound of Music with my mother, and we would walk up to the Berkeley Theater, and the fond memories that I have with my mom. And so it's not just the movie, but it's the fond memories I have with my parents. My dad would take his car to Vincetta's garage. Many of my fond memories of Berkeley, and I'm glad Berkeley is doing so well.
One of my favorite memories is actually going to this local diner that was in Berkeley called Nip and Tuck. And it was just a fun little cute diner, and sometimes you had a space to sit, sometimes you really didn't. Some other places that I used to go to a ton is bowling in Berkeley in Hartfield Lanes. I do remember the Hardys. There's an argument with my father that I might not remember it, but I remember going to Hardy's. One thing that I do recall from Berkeley is that so my grandma used to own a building. It's actually where my parents got married, but they turned the building into one of my favorite stores called Catching Fireflies. And it's a store that I still go to this day. I take my son there on the weekends, and we just like to look at all the knickknacks and buy a little treat here and there. Berkeley is not just a place for me, it's a feeling. It's a feeling of home, something that I feel like I just always keep coming back to.
Hi, Patti and Dan McCarty here with the McCarty team, Coldwell banker, Weir, Manuel.
We hope you enjoyed our mini-series, and if you have not been to the Berkeley Museum, you have to get there today. It's a magical and wonderful place to visit.